All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are going to continue on here with the Heroes Hype Amateur League Week 2 as we are into the winners semifinals. Yeah, and it is best of 3 confirmed. So, not two. All right. We actually are not going to do the Rising Taquitos game. They're kind of just taking their time. So instead, we're going to be doing the newcomers of Heartbreakers up against the winners of our last game, Shot in the Bullets. So, a best of 3 starting off on Cursed Hollow, Gilly. I mean, anything can happen here.
Yep, I'm pretty pumped to cast my first best of 3 too. And to see if Shot in the Bullets can keep their reign, or if Heartbreakers will be the one to break their heart. Oh, I messed it up. No!
I've
I've got a fail button here somewhere.
Do you? Oh. That's exactly the noise I just made. Good stuff. All right, so
exactly.
Puns aside, the draft has started. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to jump right on into it. Heartbreakers are taking blue, Shot in the Bullets once more upon red. And the Heartbreakers are saying, we're on to you guys. You're not getting the Sergeant Hammer today.
The Sergeant Hammer ban, of course, but no Illidan ban this time because Shot in the Bullets has opted to once again ban Stitches.
It's a good ban. I mean, like, there's technically nothing wrong with it. It's a little bit more old school, but this was the map. You know, we talked about it. There's a lot of nooks and crannies. We've seen some amazing hooks actually leading into some amazing team fights already tonight. So as an overall ban, it's definitely worth. That will lead us into Heartbreakers actually taking up the ETC. There's no hammer to protect here, but he's still a really good frontliner. But I'd be curious to see if we're going to attempt Mosh Pit again, as we saw in the last game. If you stun it out, adding 10 seconds to that ult is absolutely painful. So Stage Dive could be a thing. And what do the shots actually pick up?
Well, the shots have picked up Vala and Illidan. So we're finally going to get to see some Illidan play, and Vala and Illidan together, that's a lot of damage from Shot in the Bullets. I'm pretty scared.
Feel the hatred of 10,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
Or Heartbreakers might get their hearts broken. See, that's how you do it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Showing me up. Thanks a lot.
So we're going to be looking. Heartbreakers really got to think about this now because there's no support bans. The biggest supports that you can put here with the Illidan will either be a Rhaegar Tassadar or like an Uther Malfurion. So Heartbreakers have a big chance here to take away either or any of those combinations. But because there's no bans on the table, we're almost guaranteed at this point one combo of both of those supports here for Shot in the Bullets. So they set themselves up nicely for that pick. Now Heartbreakers, they might just say, screw it all, we're just going to take the strongest one and put out a DPS, and then we'll just take whatever's left over. There's a lot of ways to go about this, but securing the Vala and the Illidan was a really good first move.
Yeah, for sure. Heartbreakers had dipped into their time pool quite a bit, but finally decided on Rhaegar and Nazebo. So they did take at least the ancestral heal, the full heal away from Illidan, but opted for a little bit of damage there with the Nazebo that, as we saw in the last game, the Ravenous Spirit, when in the nooks and crannies of the Cursed Hollow, can be quite devastating.
And Shot in the Bullets, they do actually respond. They did take the Uther, but they are going to put their frontline Diablo up once more. So Diablo Uther, it's a pretty good front line, and you're going to have Illidan zip-zooming and weeding his way through a lot of that as well. Him and Diablo basically are diving buddies at this point. And really, Heartbreakers, they're not going to be able to deny that last pick, which is likely going to be another support to go with Shot in the Bullets, because if they take triple support, it's literally triple support, ETC, and Nazebo. And that's not a comp that's going to win. So, as I said, Shot in the Bullets, I think that they put themselves in a fantastic spot here. So Heartbreakers, they're very likely looking for an assassin to fill this, and probably a Tassadar.
So you think it'll be a Tassadar plus an assassin then? Coming down, maybe like a Falstad or a Tychus?
Probably not a Falstad, maybe a Tychus, maybe even just another specialist. But wow, they're going to double tank it up with a Tyrael. I am a little weirded out by that one. Tyrael's not somebody that we see a lot of on this side of the ocean anymore.
I'm interested in the purpose. You know, a lot of times you take judgment. Maybe they were concerned Shot in the Bullets would want it for the judgment to stop the Nazebo ult. I'm not sure at all. We'll have to see what Heartbreakers
double tank and Illidan. Well, I wouldn't see that actually working out. Like, Uther can't heal all 3 of those frontliners, so I don't know. I don't really think that's a valid concern from my end. Well, we're down to 5 seconds. If they don't pick in the next few, it's actually going to random, and we have to stick with it. Wow. Miss Gilly, you are impressing me with your Falstead knowledge.
I just recently got his master skin, so I'm just always hopeful to see him because I love him so much. That's all. So, Shot in the Bullets have plenty of time for this last pick, and you're thinking another support to keep that Illidan up. What are you thinking? Maybe Malfurion?
Well, no, this is for sure Tassadar. Yeah, and they just picked it. I don't know how Tassadar got the last pick. That is absolutely insane. But
I didn't even realize.
Yeah, the Tassadar brings a healing ward and the shields, and then at level 10, of course, with the Archon, it's more damage on the table, and that's what you need to round out that kind of comp. That's why I expected the Heartbreakers to take that plus the Assassin, but instead they took the Tyrael. So, okay, no, c'est la vie. I mean, it's going to be the double tank, single healer lineup here from Heartbreakers, but the double support with the Illidan dive and Diablo buddy system for Shot in the Bullets. I'm definitely giving a bit more of a drafting preference here to Shot in the Bullets this round.
Yeah, a little bit of the old school versus the new school as far as double support versus double tank. It's gonna be crazy. I think I'd have to agree with you. If for nothing else, then Illidan, if you can keep him alive, does so much damage, and then Avala and Tassadar on top of that. That's gonna be some good stuff.
So we're just waiting for the players here to ready up, and we're going to be jumping into it, guys. But, you know, Miss Gilly, we were talking a little bit just off the air about, you know, Heroes of the Storm, how we both love it, and how you actually run a show every Thursday about it.
Yeah, I run Eye on the Storm. I co-host it with Anna Prosser-Robinson, who was your co-caster last week in week 1 of this awesome tournament. So every week we talk a little bit about community discussions, meta. We also always have a guest, usually a pro player or personality from the scene, who will give like a guide on a hero, and then we also do a play session with them as well. It's a great time. If you guys want to check it out, it's on twitch.tv/missclicks at 7:15 p.m. Pacific time on Thursdays.
Yep, Miss Anna did a fantastic job last week as well, just like you're doing a fantastic job now. Definitely some quality hosts over on that side of the Twitch land.
Thank you. We've also had you on a few times to play with us, and you've been a guest as well. We always love having you come on Forecourt Jester and drop your knowledge, especially your Sergeant Hammer. It's pretty scary.
I like to drop the hammer for sure. It's always fun to play around with known community members, some of the pros that you bring on there. And Ogre Yonder gets a special shout out there. He's always in those games. Fun times, man. It's fun times. But let's snap it a little bit back to the present here. Left hand side in blue. It's going to be their first stream appearance here today. Heartbreakers, who a little bit of history here. I actually know Jaslyn, who is their Falstad. We used to do things with League of Girls back in my League of Legends days. But yeah, we'll have to see what they do here in the Amateur League. Jaslyn, of course, playing that Falstad. We got Silent, Bro Montana, Jumping Duck, and Kill the Hype, which is a terrible name.
Well, on the red side, once again, we have Shot, Base Drop, Visceral, aka Face, and Barcode on the Vala.
And traditionally, we do see a party lane into the bottom, which is the 3-man stack, and you can see Base Drop and crew are thinking that, yeah, we're going to stick to tradition today. Nobody went for the Watchtower up here. Bro Montana is actually going to figure that one out, but their distribution is still a little bit up in the air. Kill the Hype is soloed down south, and we actually have a 3-man stack here in mid.
So why do you typically see the 3-man stack on bottom?
Well, from the blue side of things, you're usually going to see it because you want to be pushing out this bottom lane, because later on, there's the boss that spawns literally right there. So both teams actually like to push out this bottom because of that boss spawning. Blue will be down here because they want to take out the fort, the gate early, so that when they do get the boss, it goes straight to the fort. Red will usually not allow them to do that, and they'll have to counter. On the flip side, though, if you're feeling particularly aggressive, you put your party lane bottom here for red, and later on you steal the boss, and then because you already worked away at the gates, the boss then goes straight to the fort. So you can do it bottom, you can do it top. Traditionally, though, we've just really focused on bottom in a lot of these games.
Perhaps it's just, you know, the standard, since it's also the case for Dragonshire as well.
Yeah, I think that actually has a lot to do with it. Like, they just move that mentality back and forth. But strangely enough, it doesn't actually apply to Blackheart's Bay. So, you know, sometimes we just have these preconceptions that you must go somewhere, and that is just how it's done.
That's definitely so. As far as experience, both teams sticking very close to each other at 4. And we should, of course, see the first tribute coming up here pretty soon. And as Forecourt Jester mentioned last game, it will be either top in the middle or bottom in the middle.
Right. Yep. That is where the first one will spawn, and then from there it will start the algorithm. So you can actually have it spawn in the same hemisphere twice in a row, but you can't have it spawn in the same place twice in a row. So it will be the top middle today, which is would have been great last game, because that's where the party lane was at. And unfortunately, it's just making everyone stretch their legs a little. And you can see already the teams are sending up representatives to claim the tribute. But Visceral stand bottom, and that is actually forcing the Jumping Duck to stay bottom as well.
So that will keep one of the tanks down, but they still have Tyrael. Shot jumping in, getting low, but does run out after the heal from Uther. He's going to have to go back, though, and that's going to give Heartbreakers some time to try to maybe get some damage done on the other members or try to start collecting that tribute. Shot is going to jump back in. Tyrael's doing a great job staying up front, so Base Drop just picks him up and throws him into the tower. That works too. Shot's got to get out. Can he get out? Falstad is there. Uther with a clutch heal. And I didn't even see. Blue team was able to get that tribute, though, within all the action.
Absolutely. I don't know how, between the multi-shots and the gathering powers and Shot just being an acrobat, I have no idea how Blue actually was able to sit down and 6-second channel it, but it will be the first tribute into the Heartbreakers pocket, and you can see once more the redistribution of power as everyone shakes down from lane to lane. Now, something that you will see a bit more in competitive, at least, you know, like the Kings of the Storm, the ESL and all that, a lot of the time you're actually going to see creep camps taken between tributes, because if you can get a good placement on a tribute in the opposite lane of a creep push, that typically means that the enemy team, since a lot of the focus will be on the tributes, won't really be able to respond to some of those mercenaries. So you'll be able to get, you know, tower damage, you might be able to get a gate, you know, big pressure, things like that. So the longer that you kind of prolong and tie up the enemy team at a tribute, the more damage your mercs can get. But we're not seeing any of that this round, at least not yet.
Not yet, indeed. Now, HeroesHype has started channeling, and unfortunately, he is stopped by Uther. And Base Drop is getting caught in the zombies, not able to go throwing around people. The shot's jumped in, but now is way far up there. Watch out, buddy. Jumps back, and Base Drop's trying to snipe the tribute, but is unable to do so. Shot killed by Falstad and ETC. Base Drop's getting very, very low. Might go down as well. He does. And now red team has to disengage, and blue team gets a second tribute. So that's 2 for the Heartbreakers. Yeah,
Heartbreakers with a very clutch engage, and really it came down to just, we have 3 melee. We have 4 melee for Shot in the bullet. 4 melee trying to squeeze through this small little area. It's like the Three Stooges syndrome from The Simpsons. Like, everybody's just cramming through the door and nobody can really get through. Whereas the Heartbreakers have 2 ranged damage, the smite from Tyrael and the face melt or the face melt from ETC. So it's keeping them there. And you saw Ilden. I mean, he was just way too far forward. There's nobody that could get to him because they're all kind of going right through the door, and they couldn't move. And that led them into 2 deaths. So really nice pickup from the Heartbreakers. 2 tributes now, multiple kills. It's going to put them into 10 first. And they're just in a very strong early game position.
Yeah, for sure. They've even gotten that bruiser camp as well. So with the tribute here and the bruiser camp and Shot not having that level 10, I wonder what they'll decide to do here. Do you think they'll still go for it?
If they don't, they get cursed.
Right.
So it's a forced hand. They're going to want 10. Okay, so they did just actually hit 10. One strategy would be to, quote, poke and soak. But wow, they're actually going to take 10 and they're going to just leave it. Bold move, Cotton. A bold move.
Indeed it is, sir. So of course, right now is the time for Heartbreakers to push. They're opting to pick up their golem really fast, and maybe going to try to follow it down and try to take out that bottom fort. Meanwhile, Shot and the Bullets are trying to take the golem, their own golem, as well. Risky, but I think that it's good because they probably would lose this fort anyway, and then maybe they can just at least get a little bit of pressure. But they'll definitely have to stop that golem as soon as possible.
So Heartbreakers with a golem, with a curse, for another 20 seconds or so. The golem is gonna, well, very likely clear the gate to the keep, unless, and perhaps even actually more if Shot and the Bullets don't really respond to it. But they're looking to do what they did last game. They're looking to trade. So they might be cursed, but they're really looking to try to get that even fort count. The problem is that after the bottom fort count is done, we've actually abandoned the golem to its own devices, and Heartbreakers are going to go for the second fort. Curse is done, but they are actually going to take the second fort after all that. And as I said, this golem is likely to get this gate, and it, well, got the gate. It's going to get probably 1 tower, but it's not going to clear the whole thing. Yeah, Ilden by himself, he's not going to be able to do it. But Shots, they did get themselves this top, and they still got this boss to push down. So Blue is a little bit more hand-tied in terms of what they got to do, because they got to come clean this up. So that'll lead us into a bit more map positioning here from Red, but fortunately, there's really nothing to position for. Like, all the creeps are done, and the tributes won't be spawning for another minute or so.
Right. Amidst all that, I am impressed that Shot has kept up in experience. A lot of times what you'll see is with a curse, one team will just jump way ahead in experience, and then it's difficult to come back in that. And they both have those level 13 talents. Now Shot is way out of position. He's going to jump back, and they've got Jumping Duck, but he's Ancestral healed by Rhaegar, and they're just going to keep poking.
Poke, poke, poke. Falling back to that healing word there from the task star, it's why you take it, because it's absolutely amazing. 30% hit points for free if you don't kill it. So yeah, they're just going to continually push in here. They are looking to equalize out this experience by grabbing one of these towers, and the towers are out of ammo. So if they can get a good pick, they could actually leap ahead in terms of some of that pressure, but unfortunately their pick was on Jumping Duck, who got Ancestral, and it's not super easy to take down the Battle Cow at this stage in the game. So either way, it looks like we're just going to split. During the curse, we actually had better soaking coming out from Shot and the Bullets. That's why they didn't really lose out a lot of that experience. Plus, again, they did get their own fort during their curse because of the boss. So you see some really interesting decisions being made, but it's keeping them in the game.
So we've got the next tribute up, and it looks like Heartbreakers are just going to abandon it. They're all down bot anyway, so it's going to be very difficult to come up there. It's not too big of a deal because it is not going to cause a curse, and they're able to steal the Giants from Shot and the Bullets side of the map and take out a turret, just getting a little bit more into the experience lead. I think a lot of people, when starting out this game, think that you always have to get curses, and although they are crazy important, you don't always have to take curses. And this was a good example of when you don't want to try to kill yourself just running into a team to try to get it, because it wouldn't have caused a curse.
There's definitely some finer nuances into when to fight for a tribute, when to fight for the curse, when to get yourself a boss that some of the newer players are definitely not going to be privy to. And that's okay because they're newer players. You guys shouldn't, turn on them. Don't feed them to the wolves. Help them out. Spread the love and spread the knowledge. But yes, giving up one tribute, especially when it's the first tribute, it's not the end of the world. The problem is I don't think the Heartbreakers really got the better trade out of it by getting one tower, but we'll see if they can actually turn that around because we are up here at this fight. A good Ancestral's going off. The Diablo Apocalypse not really hitting the mark, and Jumping Duck, unfortunately, just not going to get that mosh pit off. You can see the 5-second timer ticking down. He got interrupted on the cast. He couldn't get it off. The Ravenous, however, doing work. Shot is actually going to be dead in the water now as well on that Illidan, so it's not quite over yet here for the Heartbreakers. In fact, they're actually also going to score themselves a Diablo and perhaps a Tassadar, but Tassadar is really hard to kill.
He is. You can take a talent called Prescience, which activates one of your abilities, Dimensional Shift, immediately when you get too low of health, and Dimensional Shift makes you invulnerable for a couple seconds. So it makes it so hard to try to finish killing Tassadar when you have to chase him so far.
It is a very much a bruiser build coming up from the Tassadar. The Conjurer's Pursuit, Healing Ward, very kind of supporty, but Static Charge is every time you attack somebody under a Psystorm, you deal bonus damage. And then Depressions, this will probably be a Dimensional Warp at level 16, and that will also just, again, extend his survivability. It's rather impressive how often a Tassadar doesn't die late game. Although now I'm looking at him as he gets caught by Jumping Duck. Jumping Duck is taking good jumps out of him here, but here comes the rest of the team. Red is really looking to contest this Golem, and we got the Mod Pit out. Jumping Duck is not going to get interrupted out of this one. The Strafe not really taking home the kill, but man, the Hinterland's Blast not really hitting the mark there either. So, whoop, that's going to be the judgment. Illidan had no chance out of that one. He was not prepared, and neither is Base Drop, as he's about to drop, and he doesn't have 100 souls this time, so he will suffer the full death penalty. 3 for 1 as the Heartbreakers are able to defend the gank, turn it around, get themselves the 3. Bad Montana is looking for the 4, but they also got the boss, and that's going to be a keep.
Yeah, with 2 of the members down for another about 15 seconds and the Golem already at the keep, they're going to be able to put on some insane pressure, especially by taking, once again, the siege camp. And if the next talent comes up in top, which I'm not sure what it'll be, then that could be definite trouble for Shot, who have to defend this Golem.
A little surprised that the Heartbreakers aren't actually going to be trying to push harder up to this keep, because this keep might not actually go down anymore. 5-man pressure on top of the Golem. I mean, it'll be close. Brings it down to what, about a 6th, 7th of its life? Not terrible. But, even a few auto attacks could have been the big difference right there, and that would have been catapult pressure for them. But, we'll have to see what they want to do on the back of it, and we do got the 16s out, so a big talent here, Gilly, something that we've been seeing a lot more of, is the one on 3 of our tanks, which is the Imposing Presence. Minus 50% attack speed for people that hit that target. That's a big deal.
That is a big deal, and especially when there are so many targets with it, you really have to swap targets, and sometimes you can't when the tank's the only one in your range without just dying yourself. But Heartbreakers are going to get the curse in the midst of everything. Ravenous Spirit goes down, but is stopped, and meanwhile, poor Jaslyn is getting killed by the Golem. Somebody started it. So Falstaff's down. Illidan has run in with Metamorphosis. Jumping Duck has hit the mosh pit, so 3 people are not able to help the Metamorphosis, so he comes out and now he's back. AKA Face gets Divine Storm, and right before going down, and Apocalypse. So many stuns. Materials down, everyone's kind of low. Base drops and Valor in the back low, but Illidan is finally able to catch that Gazebo. And Red team is cursed, but 3 of Blue team's team members are down. So what they'll be able to do on that curse, I'm not really sure. They do have some Giants pushing top, but they're just going to go ahead and grab their boss.
During that curse, the bottom keep did drop, so that's a point in the favor of the Heartbreakers. But that fight was really strange. Like, we had so many good heroics from both sides, but the big key thing was Jaslyn getting caught by the roots from the golem and literally just dying off to the side, not really contributing to this fight. So a 4v5 this late into the game has some pretty dire consequences, and I gotta say, shot in the bullets, we gotta be very happy at the result of that last one. So Jaslyn is now gonna be just you know, dealing with this top boss, but we do have to be aware that we have catapults now pushing into the bottom. They're not nearly as strong as they were once upon a time, but if enough of them actually, you know, stack up, they could start doing some permanent core damage.
Yep, and so we've still got a couple forts up for Heartbreakers, so they've definitely got sort of a little bit of a buffer as far as structures go. But I see some pings going down. They're now Shot is going to have to constantly be watching that bottom lane to make sure that doesn't get pushed. Like Forecourt Jester said, those catapults, if they build up, can be a huge nuisance.
19 to 18 here at the 16-minute mark. Everyone's ready to go. Just quickly skimming through a lot of the talents. Tyrael with not a build that I'm super familiar with, but again, you know, we don't really see a lot of Tyrael here in the high meta anymore. But he's really actually pimped out his shield. Reciprocate, Imposing Will, Salvation. Yeah, Imposing Will is pretty much the same thing as the Imposing Presence, but he gets to the talent tier earlier. And even as I try to do that, Jumping Duck's going to put on a concert for two opponents here from Shot in the bullets, but he gets an Ancestral and it's going to be okay out of it. That's a little bit of a waste of both of those ults, because now, if you look at the heroic timers, we have all 5 still ready to go here from Shot. So if they can leverage that for this next fight, they could actually start turning this game into their favor.
Yep, and if you notice, what Shot is doing is they're protecting these giants because they just sit there and siege up on the fort, dealing a ton of damage every time they throw their rocks. So the longer that you're able to kind of protect them and keep them alive and keep the other team from attacking them, the better off you're going to be, because they're going to be doing some serious damage. Bro Montana getting stunned for days. Rhaegar is down, and you see the Apocalypse after that. Illidan's jumping around, but unfortunately, oh, never mind. Zebo dies, and he's going to Metamorphosis. Tries to chase that false start away so that they can pick up the enemy team's golem.
And, well, yeah, right now there is a golem, but there's also a tribute. So Jaslyn going to be using that fly, immediately gets up there, and there's nobody to contest this tribute. Not that I think that Shot in the bullets actually care about that, but going back to the whole number of heroics available for the fight, yeah, Heartbreakers. That was a heartbreaking fight, unfortunately. Rhaegar stunned for days. I mean, yeah, the buns, exactly. You're right, though. I mean, he was literally locked up, almost 100-0, and then Nazebo just didn't really have a front line to hide behind, and he kind of went down as well. So, not a good sign. If Heartbreakers do that 1 or 2 more times, that literally could be game for them. But level 20 hype, I gotta say, Shot in the bullets. What kind of Storm tier talents are they gonna be taking?
Well, we've got Nexus Blades for Illidan. It's so awesome because your basic attack deals 20% more damage on top of the damage he already does, and slow the target for 1 second. So he's going to be just deadly. We also have the Twilight Archon. Yeah, for sure. Twilight Archon and Divine Hurricane, both classics for Tassadar and Uther, and then Bolt of the Storm on both Diablo and Vala. So Bolt of the Storm on Diablo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not sure I've ever seen that. Then again, I've always seen Lightning Breath as well, and it's too good to not get the upgraded Lightning Breath. So, no, I guess upgraded Apocalypse, not worth it. Same with me.
Who knows? Maybe he's gonna bolt and throw someone back.
I guess. I don't know. I mean, the hook gorge bolt, I understand. Bolting in and mosh pitting, I understand. Bolting in and shadow charging, I don't know. Feels a little. Well, there it is.
Okay, Jumping Duck's mosh pit is immediately canceled. Falstad, did he get that? His his ult out? I couldn't tell. The Divine Storm is trying to stop it. All right, well, Tyrael's down. Falstad once again, Divine Storms, but can't quite kill Vala. Meanwhile, the mosh pit is stopped by Shot, and ETC goes down. Shot's jumping in, trying to take out that Nazebo. He metamorphosizes in, and is trying to stop the Nazebo, and they're going to get the Rhaegar as well. And that's a 4 for 0.
You're tickling me today with your in-depth knowledge of things that I just have no idea about. So I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
The blink forward into Shadow Charge led us into a failed mosh pit, which led us into a dead ETC. The Uther got a superior positioning with that Divine Storm and stopped out the Hinterlands Blast the first time. And if you can't kill an Illidan, then guess what? He can almost just return the favor immediately. 4 people dead for the Heartbreakers. And as I said, if they keep this pace up, they're going to start really losing this game. They're losing out on map control. They're looking at a cursed next tribute. They've lost the experience lead. And now they're going to have a late game boss pushing on their top.
For sure. I think that this is a great game that really shows how even if you like lose the first curse or down in the early game, you can always come back. But it's not over yet. Anything can happen with these team fights, and of course we now have a tribute that will give a curse to Shot and the Bullets if they can pick it up.
Jaslyn has definitely been a bit more of a right-click spammy Falstead, but I guess we're going to get into that. After jumping duck, he has to bolt out of that. I mean, it's just so much damage coming down on top of him. Kill the hype now is going to go back in. They're looking for a kill on top of base drop. I'm not entirely too sure they're going to grab it. That was actually now the Metamorphosis going in. Good. Apocalypse stops out hype and jumping duck, but man, the Rhaegar with that Ancestral leads into a money mosh. That's 1, that's 2. They're looking for Shot now, and he doesn't have those supports. He's actually going to drop for the hat trick. Tyrael just blows up, does not grab barcode, but they might be able to get Visceral here. Oh, never mind, I forgot. You don't go faster. My bad. Bad Montana, no. No, bro, Montana, no. No, bad dog. Yep, there you go. There you go. So they stopped the tribute.
It's just not going to happen.
They stopped the
tribute. They did.
Yeah. That was a much better fight for them.
Yeah, you saw the mosh with the Ravenous Spirit immediately. It was like Nazebo was just waiting, like, come on, you can do it, jumping duck, give me a mosh, and they did. They're gonna clean up this golem. Unfortunately, because they had to clean that up, they couldn't go push. But it looks like they're gonna maybe go and try to steal the golem, not steal the golem, just grab the golem because it's on their side, which would of course be pushing straight up to the core. Because there is no bottom keep for Shot and Bullets.
Yeah, there's no bottom keep for red, there's no top keep for blue, but you're right, it's not a steal, but this golem is definitely on the menu with 3 of the shots dead. It's almost guaranteed that they're going to be able to grab it. There's no Zeratul here to jump in and steal this one, and Visceral's not going to be able to do it either, so too little too late here from the shots and the bullets. Taking a shot in the dark, but they missed.
There's Shot to the heart. We talked about that before.
I wanted to do like Heartbreakers, Shot to the heart, but I couldn't figure it out.
Don't pull a me, please. Please don't do that. Okay, so Divine Storm is dropped, and immediately we see Rhaegar down, which means no Ancestral. And Falstad also gets picked up by Shot. He's going to metamorphosize in and probably be able to take out that Tyrael as well, because he jumps around and body blocks and does all sorts of annoying things. Next, they're after Silent, and immediately stopped as well. And just as quickly, we see a fight flip over in favor once again to Shot and the Bullets. Man, we're just seeing these fights just go back and forth.
I'm going to be very surprised if they lose right now. Look at this golem going to town on the core.
Oh no!
He's about to slam like an idiot. 7-3, and it doesn't matter. The Heartbreakers get aced, but the boss that they took will win them the game, and they will take game 1 of this best of 3 at the winners semis. Man, You didn't expect that, did you, Gil?
Obviously, I didn't even see it.
I was like, wait a second. There was a boss here. That's when they fought in the bottom lane. Where the hell did it go?
So
It's
I looked down at the
slamming on
bottom
the
lane.
core.
Yeah. I looked down at the bottom lane and didn't even see it. So I'm just like, oh, they must have killed it really fast. Nope. They sure didn't.
Well then, a really nice end to the first game. Heartbreakers were for sure slipping on their team fights, but man, we've seen a 30-minute Dragon Knight walk up to a core. Now we've seen a 20-minute boss just walk straight up to it and take it home. Had some help from some catapults, but you know, that's how you do. The Heartbreakers, no broken hearts this game. As they're gonna move on to game 2 for Picks and Vans. We're gonna find out what the map striking is gonna be, and wow, even Jaslyn's saying, yeah, we totally meant that to happen. That was our strat all along. Bold move, Cotton. Bold move. My goodness. All right. We're going to set up game 2, guys. Gillyweed and I will return with that match point for the Heartbreakers. We'll see if they can move on to the finals. But quick break for now. And when we return, we will have that game. So, guys, get yourself a drink, get some popcorn. Come on back. We'll be here, and we'll see you in just a few.